This is like the most 2020s thing ever.
Good warranty, good service, and good, reliable engines. Hello everyone! So today I am going to be reviewing and test driving the Honda HR-V. You heard me, everyone! Now today is one of the most exciting moments for me because today I am going to be reviewing the third generation Honda HR-V. This over here is the third generation Honda HR-V. But I'm going to tell you all a brief story about Honda and a brief story about the HR-V model. The thing to note about Honda is that they were quite dormant in the late 2000s and in the 2010s. For a majority of the 2010s, the only car that has been keeping Honda alive was the Civic, the Jazz, and the CR-V, which is why today these respective models are still selling like hot cakes. But there's something also to note, guys. Environmental initiatives are very strong in the EU market, and this equally meant taxations of engines. Here in the EU market, there's high demand for good value for money, and unfortunately, Honda was a victim over here because they were offering big engines. They offered the reliability, but unfortunately, they didn't satisfy the taxation laws, and they were not good enough value for money. However, when it comes to the design and identity of Honda cars, we can establish that the company started in Japan. Honda started in Japan, okay? But it is thanks to the North American market, Honda grew to significant fame. And that was particularly in the 1970s and in the 1980s. That's when expansion started. And it's all thanks to the North American market. And because of that, you may have noticed that many Hondas have a very Americanized styling in them, or something Americanized about them. Now I am going to cover the topic of the Honda HR-V. Now the Honda HR-V had quite an interesting reputation. I grew up as a kid seeing lots of them. Back in the late 90s and in the 2000s, the Honda HR-V used to dominate over roads. In fact, they always drew my attention because of the way they were designed. They had a unique style compared to other vehicles of the 2000s and the late 90s. Pay attention to what I'm about to tell you all. The first generation Honda HR-V was released in 1998. It was short-lived, ironically, despite the massive fame it achieved. It didn't really live for very long because it was until 2006, and then after 2006 or something like 2008, I know that around the mid-2000s, the Honda HR-V was discontinued and everyone thought that that was the end of it. They were never to be seen again. They ceased to exist. Everyone thought that that was the end of Honda here in Belgium because that was the last interesting Honda. It was something very interesting. It was something groundbreaking. And that two other Honda models used to be interesting and desirable. But then Honda went down. It was like a period of deep sleep. Like you didn't really hear much from Honda. Then something happened in 2013, like in the early 2010s. What happened was that the second generation Honda HR-V was released. But it was rather interesting because everyone perceived it as a downsized Honda CR-V, but the second generation HR-V was smaller and it was just all round edge and it just looked like some generic Honda. But they were still sold here in Belgium nonetheless. Now, they were not sold like hot cakes, unfortunately, but they did sell here in Belgium. They had an average reputation, or should I say below average. It didn't have a really big reputation, unfortunately. Today is the day I'm proud to tell you all that this has all changed. Gone are the days when Honda cars used to be boring A to B eco boxes. Today is the day Honda cars are A to B machines that sure are economic, like eco boxes, but they do not look anything like eco boxes. They look instead like something more desirable. That is exactly what's demanded by the EU market and the North American market. Yes, everyone, that's what I'm saying. Something that's Japanese American. It's right behind me, everyone. when I first saw this Honda HR-V, I got excited because this looks like it's matching the trends of today. It looks like it's something that's putting its own identity forward. What separates Honda from Toyota and Nissan is that Honda has some more prominent American styling to it. And this is evident with the Honda HR-V. Now, we're gonna do the test drive of the Honda HR-V. Let's get down to doing the test drive. All right, everyone, now we're gonna get down to doing the test drive of the Honda HR-V. Yes, everyone. Now, I did mention earlier that this Honda HR-V is based on the exact same platform as the Honda Jazz. So, because this is a crossover SUV, and the Honda Jazz is basically a B-segment car, well, it's classified as a B-segment car, but it has the looks of a C-segment car. I'm assuming that this is going to be more... It's going to be more comfortable in terms of road comfort. Suspension will be softer, but this could also equally mean that in the corners, it could wobble more. But we will see, guys. We will see, because already first impression, guys, sitting on the driver's seat, I really like how everything is at my reach. Very good, very good. Oh, and by the way, this is the key of the Honda Jazz, everyone. Now, this is a typical Honda key. I mean, they always have this piano black trim right in the middle, and then this design. It's quite nice, quite nice. You have to push this start-stop button right here. Alrighty, guys, so the engine fires up, the engine is on, and because this is a hybrid, I find this a bit interesting, because usually I was expecting the engine to be quiet, but it's good, it's good. Over here, everyone, is the infotainment system, quite nice. So let's just see what, so here you get the application page. This is what happens when you go on home. And then you get navigation, you get to go on your telephone connections and everything. Very good, very good. So this infotainment system is rather basic to use. It's not supposed to be groundbreaking, but at the same time, it's as good as it has to be for its price and segment. Very nice. Let me just try something, because the map is always the most interesting thing. So let me check navigation. That's the thing, guys, like something is interesting already, and I can't seem to find the map application. Where is the map? Ah, got you. Oh, so this is the map of the infotainment system, guys. It's quite nice. It's as good as it has to be. It's almost like, yeah, it's not so detailed, but then it's good. Like, at least they show the green color for the indication that it's the greenery, like forests, and then I'm assuming dark gray is supposed to be built-up areas and everything. Quite good, quite good. So it's good. I like the details. Fine, fair enough. I mentioned something about the engine firing up, but as soon as I started the car, despite it being a hybrid. Now the thing to note is that this is today is a very cold day. So what this means is that the engine, the petrol engine kicks in because it's a cold day. However, that's when you have the air conditioning activated. Now I deactivated the air conditioning, but watch what happens when I activate it. Oh, looks like we're back in business. And whenever I off the air conditioning, the petrol engine switches off. So, it's a very clever system. So I will be test driving this Honda HR-V, and there's some driving modes we have to test as well. So let's see how this goes, guys. 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. Okay, first impression, guys. I'm putting this car in drive, and every time I move the gear, I'm greeted with a lot of noise coming from the transmission. This is a bit too loud, like if you can hear this, guys. I'm trying to be as gentle as I can with this transmission, and it makes a bit too much noise. Now we'll accelerate. Accelerator is crazy! I mean, I don't know what I just did, guys. All I did was I don't know what's going on, guys. I mean, I just pushed the accelerator and the engine screams. Now I'm going to test something, guys. So I'm at normal speed, and now we will accelerate again. All right, now let's see what it's like to do a U-turn, everyone. I am going to execute a U-turn, and I'll see what this Honda HR-V is like. Oh my goodness. Can it make it? Can it make it? Can it make it? Ah! Crazy! In a good way, guys. It actually does the U-turn properly. Now, this U-turn was quite easy. It was quite good. But at the same time, it's so maneuverable. I like it. And by the way, the steering wheel is very, very pleasant. I like how light the steering wheel feels. So everyone, now I'm going to see what it's like to do an emergency brake. 1, 2, 3. So from 30 kilometers per hour to a full brake. Okay, guys, so when doing an emergency brake, I have to say that the car can do an emergency brake, but then something about it feels a little bit spongy. So it's good, at least it cushions you, you know, like at least it doesn't, you know, send you flying at the steering wheel, because you can do a smooth brake, so like I'm about to do right now. You can do a smooth brake, you know, whenever I brush the brakes, the car actually reacts gently, which is good. So the car does the brake depending on the intensity of the pressure you apply on the brake. So it's good. That's good, because I've seen some cars where when you brush the brakes, oh my gosh, they send you flying out the window at one point. Anyways, now it's time to use sport mode. Time to test sport mode and see what it's like. So 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh! Oh! The car takes speed at a very appropriate pace. I like that, but at what cost? It screams every single time. And sport mode is no exception. Well, actually it's expected. I mean, I wasn't surprised the car I'm not surprised the car screamed at sport mode, but when does this car calm down? Alright guys, I have to say road noise is average. Like, I can hear the engine every time I speed, but then I can also hear a little bit of the road noise, but then it's average. Let's say it's average. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. Okay, it's average. I cannot hear other traffic though, so that's an advantage. Notice that in eco mode, the car tends to go on hybrid whenever you are at slow speed. So it's like when you're at a stop and then about to move, that's when it starts using the hybrid system. So that's good. I guess eco mode means more use of the hybrid system. Very nice. Guys, I'm going to show you all something very, very cool. Whenever I put this car in reverse, the camera first activates. So you don't get a 360-degree camera for this particular Honda HR-V, but you do get a mirror that actually tilts. Let me show you something. So right now it's in park. Now pay attention to that mirror. Reverse. And it goes downwards. And now I put it back in park, and it goes back upwards.
Now, the most important thing to note, guys, and I mentioned this also before, is that the Honda HR-V is based on the same platform as the Honda Jazz. Now, we can perceive the Honda Jazz to be like the minivan, and the Honda HR-V to be the crossover SUV. Now, what's special about this crossover SUV is that in my book, in my view, I find it more desirable. And particularly because of the design, it looks very interesting. It looks more Japanese than ever at the front. But the overall styling, if you look at the side view of every of it, it looks very American, and I say this all the time. This particular Honda HR-V is fully loaded, and it costs only 36,000 euros. For a price of 36,000 euros, is this Honda HR-V good value for money or not? We're gonna find out in a moment, everyone, right away. Let's get down with reviewing it right now. Over here, I have a 1.5 hybrid petrol engine, everyone. How amazing does that sound? Think of this, hybrid petrol engine, not plug-in hybrid, everyone. So the recharging is all from the brakes with a thermal heat. And for those of you who are so concerned about reliability or the reliability of hybrid technologies, rest assured, this is a Honda. Good warranty, good service, and good, reliable engines. I mean, the reputation lives on, especially with petrol engines.
Right, everyone, so over here is the exterior design of the Honda HR-V. I absolutely love the styling of this wonderful grille. This is like the most 2020s thing ever. I mean, look at this, everyone. Just look at this, the styling. Now, I want you all to look at the side view of the Honda HR-V carefully. If you look at it from this angle, over here, I feel like it has a very prominent North American vibe, especially on the side. You know, there's something about the Honda, well, Japanese brands have a thing for crossover SUVs. In fact, they were not the ones to have started the segment of crossover SUVs, but they were the ones that kind of bested the segment, and because they grew in popularity from the segment. Now, I absolutely love those rear lights of the Honda HR-V. It's very interesting. They kind of remind me of something I've seen on the Honda CR-V. So it's quite nice. I mean, this is becoming a trendy thing today, especially like I've noticed many brands have a thing for this sort of design. Oh, those wheels of the Honda HR-V, everyone. Look at this. I really like the design. The alloys, the black alloy, and then you have the silver lining on top. Now, it is worth mentioning that this Honda HR-V is a two-tone color. So you have the body color over here, and then you have the black tone on top. Which is quite nice, guys. I mean, the roof is in black, and then also you have the black trimming right here around the wheels and everything, and all at the bottom, including the red lining right here. Very nice. It's very good how Honda has gone about it. Whilst exploring the exterior of this Honda HR-V, I was very impressed, but I also noticed some questionable aspects. The first questionable aspect I'd like to remark is that, first of all, the grille over here is quite conspicuous, but then the air intakes are only here. But then at the top, there's no air intake whatsoever, guys. That's a bit classic now. It's like every time I see a big grille, the top is never the air intake. Despite the price of 36,000 euros and this being the top of the range, you do not get any 360-degree parking camera. You only get parking sensors at the front, but you do not get any parking camera at the front. No 360-degree parking camera, guys. It's only at the rear you get the parking camera. And the last questionable aspect I'd like to remark is that for some reason the two-tone color looks good, okay? It looks gorgeous, don't get me wrong. But what I found questionable is that this looks as though someone just stuck this on. Now over to the interior of the Honda HR-V, everyone. The interior is very nice. I like it. I mean, it's more lively, and I feel like it has some strong resemblance to the Honda E. The Honda E is an electric car released by Honda very recently, and it's quite nice. The interior looks alike. And looks more desirable, by the way. I mean, look at this. I like how alive it looks. Let's just take a moment and admire the seating, guys. I mean, look at this. You get the white leather, and then you get the fabric in the middle, guys. And the fabric also has some good styling to it. So over here, you get all your climate controls, very organized. And then here you get your infotainment system. Quite good. Very good. And then over here, you get your driving controls. And you get your traction control right there. Very, very decent. Quite nice. And then you do get heated front seats as well. A wireless telephone recharge right here, guys. 12-volt socket, a USB connection point there, and you get extra storage right here. Wow, this is so good. Like, when I first saw this, I thought this was just going to be a trim and everything, but then I realized there's actually extra storage right there. And by the way, this trim is so pleasant. I like it. I like the red over here. Well, it's not red, it's bronze, I'd say. Bronze, red, something like that. And then over here, you get extra storage space. Very good. The storage space in here is not as big as I was expecting it to be. Yeah, it's not so deep. Whether this is questionable or not, I'm not going to say this is the best, but then I'm also not about to say this is not good, because at least for a crossover SUV based on a B-segment car, this is good. And then also, we have a deep storage space right here, guys. Now that's a plus. And you do get heated steering wheel. I only noticed this now, guys. And you get extra storage spaces right here. Honda puts the fuel cap latch and the hood latch all the way down there. Well, I mean, why not? Alright everyone, whilst exploring the interior of this Honda HR-V, I have to confess I was impressed, okay? I was very impressed with the design. It's a very big step ahead. I'm impressed. The first questionable aspect I would like to remark is the absence of a sunroof and the absence of extra storage space right here, guys. Because this is supposed to be the top of the range Honda HR-V, and the options are not there. And there's not even any storage space here, guys. This has to be one of the rare occasions when I never see a storage space up here. Most brands always offer some small storage space here, but the HR-V does not offer it. Very interesting what's going on. Aspect I've just remarked, guys, is that the door bin is really small. It's not big enough. Like, you get this huge big bit of plastic and then there's no extra storage. It's just all the way here. I'm going to go to the rear, but before doing so, I noticed another thing. First of all, aesthetically speaking, it looks good. I like how it gives a coupe impression when you have the door handle there and the door handle for the rear door right here. Aesthetically, it's beautiful, but when it comes to practicality, it's not always going to be easy to open. It's always easy when you have a handle, but then when you have a door like this, it's not very easy, but then you have to get used to it. Oh yes, everyone, look at this. This is a Honda specialty. Honda has always had this with the Jazz, and they have this with the HR-V as well. Something very practical, something very spacious back here. Now over here you do get air vents, no climate controls though, no USB points, although you get a micro storage down there, and some charging ports, some USB connection points. Guys, I just noticed something a little bit questionable and a bit alarming to some extent, because there's no door bin right here, guys. No door bin at all. Instead you're just given a little cup holder over here, and that's it. And you do get armrest for the rear seats, everyone. Over here is the boot space of the Honda HR-V, everyone. And I have to say, it is quite nice. It's quite spacious. A bit average for a B-segment crossover SUV with hybrid technology. So that's why you may feel it's a bit less than average, but then it's as good as it has to be. So you do get a beacon of hope LED lighting. You do get hooks over here. And that's about it, guys. You get a tether point right there. I like the quality of the tether point, by the way. But that's about it. There is no 12-volt socket to be seen. That's very interesting. There's two ways you can close the rear door of the Honda HR-V. You can do it with the button right here, or you can press this button, and that is when you have the key in your pocket and walk a few distances away, the rear door will close automatically.
So here's my conclusion of the Honda HR-V, everyone. I have to say that I was very impressed with the new Honda HR-V. It is promising. It is a very big step ahead for Honda, and this is one of the most 2020s thing ever. Now, for a price of 36,000 euros, which is supposed to be the top of the range, is this good value for money or not? I have to make a confession to you all. You see, I'm a big fan of the Honda HR-V, and in my view, I would say this is great value for money, but it did have some prominent things missing. Like the sunroof was missing, the electric seating adjustment was missing, there were just manual seating adjustments, and then also there were some things about the interior that felt a bit under-equipped, especially at the rear seat. I was a bit alarmed by the absence of door bins at the rear seat. Practicality solutions is hit or miss in this Honda HR-V. So I'm going to say to you all that this Honda HR-V is good value for money. It's not the best, but then it's not just okay. It is good. It's better than okay. And yeah, I think it's very desirable. It's more desirable than ever. And then also for a crossover SUV based on the B segment, I was expecting more. I really was. But then, on the other hand, this car really does live up to its promises. And then also when it comes to on-road performances, the car performed very well. But the thing to remark is that its on-road performances was... the engine likes to scream a lot, and this is something I've noticed about other Honda cars. The engine screams all the time. Every time you floor it or every time you accelerate, you have to be gentle with the acceleration. That's how it needs to be. Otherwise, I was very impressed with the maneuverability of this Honda HR-V. So you want my opinion of this Honda HR-V? Oh, I love it! I love this Honda HR-V. I've seen many different B-segment crossover SUVs, but this Honda HR-V is one of the most promising B-segment crossover SUVs because of its reliability, because of its innovation, and also because of its design this time. Desirability has been added, and it's right there. Although I have to agree, there is always room for improvement. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run. For more videos of crossover SUVs from the B segment, please don't hesitate to check out in the links and in the description below.